meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Desert Community College District Board of Trustees. Is called to order at 9:32. And Arturo, our student trustee, would you kindly lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course. Everybody stand up, please. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. President Kinnaman, roll call, please.
Certainly. Student Trustee Delgado.
Here.
Trustee Mary Jane Sanchez Fulton. Absent at this time. Trustee Yant.
Present.
Trustee Stefan.
Present.
Trustee Becky Becky Broughton is absent at this time. Chair Aurora Wilson.
Present. Thank you. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2B2, the board may take action on items of business not appearing on the posted agenda upon a determination by a 2/3 vote of the board, or if less than 2/3 of the members are present, a unanimous vote of those present, that there is a need to take immediate action and that the need for action came to the attention of the local agencies subsequent to the agenda being posted as specified. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda of July 20th, 2017? Okay. The agenda stands confirmed as presented. The board will now recess to closed session from approximately 9:35 till about 10:15, and we will reconvene open session at 10:30. Thank you. We have reconvened from open session, and we have there was no reportable action taken in closed session. So we will now return to our agenda, and item number 5, public updates. President Kinnaman.
Yes, just briefly. There was a question that had been asked of me regarding an assembly bill, and it's Assembly Bill number 1887, and whether or not we follow this bill, and it's a prohibition on state-funded and state-sponsored travel to states with discriminatory laws. And it goes in and talks about the types of discrimination. I won't read the whole thing here. It's available, though. It's Assembly Bill 1887. It lists 8 states that are restricted. And then in addition to that, it has exceptions in here under certain conditions for somebody to travel to those states. And so I did want to affirm that we practice this and don't travel to states that have discriminatory laws.
Okay.
That's all I had for my update.
Okay. Also, let the record show that Trustee Broughton is present, and we understand that Trustee Sanchez Fulton thought the meeting was tomorrow, so she is making her way to the board meeting. So we now move on to item 6, which is public comments. Persons who wish to speak to the board on any item may do so at this time. There is a limit of 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic unless further time is granted by the board. Your comments will be timed and you will be asked to stop speaking when the timer sounds. Please understand the board welcomes your comments but are not able to wholly respond to those comments. Julia, do we have any requests to speak? Oh, okay. Then, seeing no public comments, we will move on to item number 7, introduction of the staff. Dr. Kinnaman.
Yes, thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce a couple of new additions to College of the Desert. First is Deliana Peregrinaha Kretz, Director, Talent Search Grant Program. And
Come on up, come on up.
come on up. Dr. Kretz is a California Community College System graduate, having earned her Associate of Arts in Liberal Studies from East Los Angeles College. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts in International Development Studies with a minor in Portuguese from UCLA and a Master of Science in Counseling, Student Development in Higher Education, and a Community College Graduate Certification from California State University in Long Beach. She also has earned her PhD in Higher Education from the University of Toronto. Most recently, she served as Associate Director of the Long Beach College Promise Grant Initiative at CSU Long Beach. As Director of Talent Search at COD, she is eager to work with students and their families to promote college opportunities to encourage students to succeed academically and personally, and to develop a college-going culture at each of the school sites, thus making a positive, long-lasting impact in the Desert Hot Springs community. So, welcome, and
Welcome.
if you can just hang with us for one more minute, okay? I'd also like to introduce Roberto Perez, Public Safety Officer. Roberto is a longtime Valley resident for the past 30 years and a former member of the California Board of Realtors. He has 25 years experience in the customer service industry prior to coming to College of the Desert Public Safety Department and Emergency Preparedness. He is trained in SB 1626, Psychological First Aid Victims Assistance, School Bomb Planning Incidents, Basic First Aid, and CPR. Roberto is also a PC 832 Academy graduate as well. Roberto believes in giving back to his community and finds that working at the Public Safety Department allows him the opportunity to encourage and assist our students, many of which remind him of his own children. Just one of the many great qualities that Roberto has and makes him a valuable member to the Public Safety Department team. Roberto enjoys spending quality time with his family and making lasting memories. Okay. Yes. I'd also like to introduce to you Alan Heydrich Sr., Public Safety Officer. Alan is a longtime resident of Beaumont and recently transplanted to Cathedral City to be closer to his longtime employer, Ralph's Grocery. Alan has been employed with Ralph's for 37 years. That's a long time at one place. 37 years, and a member of management for 34 years prior to coming to College of the Desert Public Safety Department and Emergency Preparedness. Alan brings with him a wealth of experience in customer service, safety training in PC 832, Basic First Aid and CPR, victims assistance, psychological first aid, and school bomb planning incidents. Alan has 3 children and 8 grandchildren. He spends time with them, and when he's not, he's avidly mountain biking or weightlifting. So we welcome all of you, and we give you also an opportunity to address the board or say hi, and then we're going to get a picture after that.
Please say some comments.
I would like to thank everybody at COD College for giving me this opportunity to be here and to work and do the best I can to serve the students, the faculty, and the administration to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I too would like to say how thankful and grateful I am to be here. I'd like to thank Dave Nakamura, our director, and I'm looking forward to and excited to continue to do this job.
Great.
And to be able to continue to protect and to be of service to our students, our faculty, and staff for many years.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure to be here, to be working with Desert Hot Springs community with the new grant, Trio Educational Talent Search. and I'm very happy to be part of the COD family.
Thank you.
Great.
Welcome.
Do we want to do a picture with
Yes.
the board? Yeah.
I think they come, do they come
Yeah.
behind us? Okay.
Just squish together. Squish together.
together?
Oh, I'm moving the table.
It's supposed
Didn't
to
mean
move
to
you,
do
not
that.
hang with us. No, please.
Yeah, we don't wanna let this look. Oh, that's a good idea.
Thanks so much for having that. Thank you. Welcome.
What do you say?
Where's mine?
Wonderful. Yeah, it's always a good thing to welcome new folks. Okay. Moving on to item 8, approval of minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to the regular meeting minutes of June 15, 2017? Okay. Seeing none, they do stand approved, and many thanks to Julia for getting our minutes caught up, and I know that's been such a work, but thank you so much. Okay, we now move on to item number 9, which is reports, and we start off with ASCOD. Arturo?
Sorry, Madam Chair, there will be no report today.
No report. Okay. Then we will move on to the next item, which is CSCA. Lauda?
Time? It's not that.
Thank you, Carlos.
Good morning, Board of Trustees, Administration, faculty, staff, students, and esteemed guests. Negotiations update, health and welfare. Classified staff and full-time faculty members of the Health and Welfare Committee recognize the value of and had agreed to continue meeting as a committee through the summer. However, the last 3 scheduled meetings have been canceled by the district. Therefore, we have not had the opportunity to meet as a committee to review CBT's final rate quote that was given for the entire district. The district continues to decline selecting CBT to provide better plans at a lower cost and by canceling the meetings. Each bargaining unit will now independently select and propose plan designs at the negotiations table. Not only have committee meetings been canceled, but also the chair of this committee, who is also the vice president of HR, has not attended either of the 2 contract negotiation sessions. With the exception of a short budget presentation, no member of executive cabinet was present in that first session. 1 vice president participated, but only for the second half of that second session. Instead, the negotiations chair for the district is a lawyer that clearly makes more money the more days and hours negotiations take. They do take note in the agenda for this month, the fees for his firm are over $70,000, and that's the document that I provided. It's part of the agenda, but just for quick reference. This is just for this one agenda. There are others from previous. Last year, CSCA analysis of the lost opportunity cost of not remaining with CIS was equivalent to about $200 a month. Thanks to your support as a board, we continue to have the difference remedied by the additional district contribution through September, but only through September. Our members are asking, when the district alleges the beginning of budget difficulties, why would the district not look for every opportunity to consider every cost-saving measure, including CBT, to provide better medical and prescription plans for lower premium costs for employees? We should consider that if the district premium cost increases were entirely or even partially added to the district budget instead of taken from the paychecks of employees as deductions, this would be different. It is not because bargaining units agreed to a maximum district contribution or cap. Any increase in premium costs comes from our paychecks and not from district budget. This was different in 2010, when the district budget could not continue to absorb significant premium increases from Anthem, which at the time were in the area of 25% increase from year to year. The district identified significant cost savings for better plans from CISC and proposed a district contribution maximum that covered most of those plans. I represent the bargaining unit with the most members eligible for health and welfare benefits, and we are distraught. A $200 a month temporary increase has been part of the budget last year and part of this year. We asked the board to direct the district to make the $200 increase permanent going forward to offset premium costs that we would have been able to save going to CBT last year or even this year. The district has already proposed a $100 permanent increase that would have worked if we were to be able to go to CBT. However, since that is not possible, it takes $200 for similar plans in CISC. We are close and we're willing to remain in CISC as the district insists. We have agreed to negotiations on Monday and would like to sign a tentative agreement with a permanent $200 increase in plan designs based on a $1,600 month permanent district contribution. This would allow for notification to CISC for the new plan designs by the August 1st deadline. We really appreciate that you listen, and we do appreciate your support. And really the thing winds up being is, for us, how much does it take? We think about how important it is for students that we're here for students. Well, we need to attract high quality faculty, but we also need to attract high quality staff, and we need to be able to keep high quality staff here. What do people look for when they're looking for a new employer? They're looking for health benefits. We've seen what has happened at the federal level. How important are health benefits to people? In addition to that, we do look at and we consider quite significant the importance of numbers in the budget. But we're about more than numbers as well. We're about our students, we're about our staff, we're about our faculty. We need to consider that as well, because we do need to be able to attract and to retain quality faculty and staff at this district. We can continue to invest training people again and again, but what does that do to the quality of our education that we can provide? Thank you.
Thank you, Laro. Adjunct, David? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Well, first the good news. We would like to thank and congratulate Cody McCabe for hosting a group of high school students from Tianjin, China last week as part of the Cultural Bridge program. Our own Kathy Levitt led a faculty panel discussion introducing COD to the students and answering their questions. They also visited USC and UCLA prior to coming here, and then they traveled to Stanford and Ivy League universities on the East Coast. College of the Desert was the only community college on their visit. Last month, Nicole Clark, an adjunct in nursing, gave a presentation on an online teaching conference in Anaheim on research she conducted in 2 different online courses entitled How We Took Science Courses Out of the Background and Into Our Students' World. And we have 5 COD adjuncts in the @1 training for teaching on Canvas, and there are even more in the distance ed classes this summer. Now for the bad news. Contract negotiations are still ongoing, and as we reported to you last month, no progress has been made on the 2 key issues of pay and health care benefits. We understand the district's concern over structured deficits, but cost savings should be shared by all. The burden should not fall on adjuncts alone. Denying health care benefits to adjuncts should not be based on cost. Is cost a justification for denying it to full-time faculty or classified staff or administration? No, the money is there for them. Why then is the money not there for adjuncts? Some form of health benefit is provided to adjuncts at Palo Verde, Mount San Jacinto, Riverside, Antelope Valley, and LA Community College districts. If these schools can afford to value their adjuncts even though they are not doing as well on growth or financials, Why does this district feel that they are not in a position to offer anything to adjuncts? COD is not competitive with these other districts. Likewise, the district has no plan for closing or even reducing the parity gap between adjuncts and full-time faculty, which is why, as reported again to you last month, the parity gap has not changed in 26 years. Why is this not being addressed? The district agreed to a parity rate of 79% in 2001, yet it does nothing to address it. What is the point of having a collective bargaining agreement if one party simply chooses to ignore its provisions? The message these actions send is that adjuncts are not valued. How can such unfair treatment of the largest employee group in the district be justified? We ask this board to encourage the administration to make serious and meaningful proposals toward achieving parity and providing health care benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, next is Faculty Association, Denise Diamond. I'm sorry?
Anything like summer?
Thank you.
Good morning. This summer I've taught in the EDGE program, the second session in Indio. This is my first experience doing that at 8 o'clock in the morning to 11:30 with a group of incoming freshmen, all 31 of them. It's an exciting group. I don't think I've faced 31 17 and 18-year-olds for quite a while. They're excited to become road runners. I was excited to meet them every morning, and I've written some things here, but I'd just like to take a moment and express my appreciation and kudos to the support staff for EDGE at Indio who did for me and others, but I can speak for myself, an extraordinary job in rendering support on all kinds of levels, and I thank them very much. I'd like to use myself as an employee example to talk about what will likely occur with health benefits, an important topic to many of us. In August, most likely, I will receive a notice about open enrollment for health benefits. I guess, because I do not know, that I am only looking at the same options that I had last year that have increased 7%. As I review these plans, I will have to keep in mind that the $200 that was available last year on health benefits no longer exists. As an employee, I recognize that my contract has expired and negotiations are still continuing. Last year, as an employee, I enrolled in CVT online in July. In August, I was told to change my plans. In October, after my union demanded to bargain this change, I had open enrollment. I chose to move from a 90% plan to a 100% plan. This year, when negotiations finish and my contract is ratified, I expect that I will have another open enrollment because health and welfare benefits are the #1 priority at the bargaining table, and faculty support the association at the bargaining table to enhance benefits. And likewise, we support CSEA. As the Faculty Association president, I have some additional concerns about the process that is placing full-time faculty and our support staff on this merry-go-round. The merry-go-round includes moving the decisions about health and welfare to CPC, as what occurred in May of this last year. Using CPC for health and welfare has many challenges. Canceling the health and welfare meetings of May, June, July, and August has numerous consequences. The time in late May and June has always been used by the elected representatives to make recommendations from the various options a health provider offers in plans and prescriptions. There are many possible matches and questions. CISC, as has been stated, requires notification of plan selection by August 1. So here's some questions. Without a collaborative recommending process focused on benefits, how do we know what the competitive plans and options are? Without a collaborative process, how are health plans being selected? What benefits the district in this confusing process? Does the district want plans to be negotiated at the bargaining table by each bargaining unit? Should the district's issue with more competitive providers like CVT mean that its employees have to bear the additional costs? I've provided for you a comparison chart of CPC and Health and Welfare Committee. We meet with the broker, CPC does not. We receive extensive information in a book, CPC does not. We spend hours, CPC spends minutes. We have contract language, CPC does not. And the largest user group, CSEA, has 2 votes at CPC and the faculty 1. A more progressive, inclusive, collaborative dialogue between labor and management is needed. The current process does not save the district money, nor does it harmonize the user groups on this important benefit. The internal work of the college, labor, and management needs immediate attention, perhaps even intervention.
Thank you. Let's see here. Academic Senate, Carl Farmer. Welcome. Yes, your new job.
Right, well, hello, everyone. This is my first time I'm going to be able to address you directly. Last month I was attending the State Academic Senate Leadership Retreat in order to help prepare me, I guess, for the for the role of Senate President. I don't know if it's helping yet, but and just this past week we had 3 faculty attending the Curriculum Institute: Linda Emerson, George Brown, and our curriculum chair, Donna Green. And I see this, as we have in the past, as an opportunity to talk about the things the various faculty are involved with over, the past month or so that maybe you are not aware of. And so our traditional routine is to send out a little request for information from various, from all the faculty, including the adjunct, to see if there's something they would like us to report. To start with, I have a follow-up report from Wendy Sanders, who made it sound like a very exciting trip to Costa Rica. The good news, we have good news and good news, is she came back with the same number of students she went with. That's always an encouraging thing. And the other part of the good news is apparently she brought back some Costa Rican coffee for the board members. So I don't know, maybe that was a secret, but she did wanted to make sure you guys really received that. And I did warn them. I said, make sure you respond to my email. If not, I'll just talk about myself too much. But I would like to report that from this past year, during the winter break, with the support of the CREST program from the National Science Foundation in Mesa, we hosted 22 students in our now it's become an annual winternship activity. Of those, a very large number of those students received summer opportunities, including 6 that are currently at Cal State San Bernardino. I'm going to try to take time to read their names because I think they need the recognition. Alan Armendariz, Wilbert Garcia, Tanya Mancia, Maritza Ochoa, Brian Orozco, Blanca Quijada, and Sarah Rodriguez. They will be actually giving their final presentation next Wednesday at noon. If somebody happens to be over that way, it'll be at Cal State San Bernardino. We also have several other students that are attending internships at national laboratories. I don't think I'm going to have time to go through all of them, but I will at least laboratories such as the Stanford Linear Accelerator. Interesting story, NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. We had a student get an internship there this summer. When he got there, he met one of our students from just the previous year who also was there and bumped into an acquaintance from College of the Desert from the year before. We have students at UC Davis Medical School. We have a local internship with Hot Purple Energy. We have a student at Lawrence Livermore Berkeley Laboratory, as well as the Transfer to Excellence program at Berkeley, and one at California State University. It's also one other fact is the fact that a lot of students do get multiple offers. As part of the CREST activity, Dr. Robert Pellenberg and I are also over there working this summer, mentoring the students, but also working on our own projects at the same time, and looking for opportunities for students to be doing during the next winter program. Be sure and look for our research symposium that's going to be going on during Flex, where hopefully all these students will have a poster or a presentation they will be providing everyone. Judith Cook just wanted me to pass along the story about she's teaching a couple art classes this summer and stress the importance of keeping these types of classes on the schedule, the importance of fulfilling both art degree requirements as well as general education requirements. Clayton Mays provided a very lengthy story that is, the full thing is in the report, the written report. But it all started in 2006 when Levi Miller, who was a California Highway Patrol officer, was recruited into the College of the Desert, AJ program. He's been very successful. He went on to get his associate degree. He's received a bachelor's degree, and as well as a master's in online teaching and learning. And now he's teaching some of our online classes. There was also a report submitted by Ana Hernandez, again stressing the interaction that we can have with the Career and Workforce Solutions Center, as well as the opportunity for the board to get that information out to other people in the public. And one last quick thing we did announce in this past Mesa banquet in May, our 11 scholarship recipients that will be starting this fall. In addition, one that was only tentative at the time, we have one of our former students now who's transferring to Cal State San Bernardino that will be receiving an $8,000 scholarship for her per year while she's attending there.
Wow.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
great. Thank you. Next, College of the Desert Foundation. Peter? Peter, how are you feeling?
Good, thank you. Thank
Good.
you very much. I originally told the president's office that I had no report, and then I had a 3 a.m. epiphany. I'm sure none of you have ever had nothing like that. And I thought, oh my gosh, we do have something exciting to report, and that is, excuse me, our 3 new board members that have joined the board of the foundation. All 3 women, all extremely prepared, talented, and knowledgeable, and so we're very excited. We brought Jean Karras, came back to the board after a couple of year absence. She she's been, as I'm sure most of you know, very active here locally, also nationally. She's on the Board of Trustees of Brandeis University in New York, the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Comes with a great deal of talent and background, and we're very happy to have Jean back on our board. Joanne Mintz also joined our board. She and her husband Myron, Dr. Myron Mintz, now make the desert their full-time residence. She was a Ophelia Project mentor and the head of the Shadow Hills Committee, as I'm sure the board chair remembers, and very involved in the McCallum and Eisenhower and all the other usual suspects. But she and her husband set up a $25,000 scholarship for Public Safety Academy students, and then have given $50,000 each year towards the pledge. Connie and Bob Lurie made a challenge of $150,000. To date, we have the Mintz's $50,000. We just received a grant from the Robert Brooke Foundation out of Omaha. This is their first foray into the desert. One of the board members has a home here and has been reading our press and said we need to get involved in the pledge. And so they just granted us $75,000 towards that $150,000 challenge grant. And so now with the Mintz's money and other monies coming in, we are at that 150,000. We've met that and now have $300,000 just from that one challenge to put towards pledge. So we're very excited about that. The third board member that we just brought on is Diane Rubin. She's a CPA. She's a super CPA. She not only counsels the IRS in Washington about tax issues, but then goes out and teaches other CPA firms across the country. Brilliant financial mind, and we are excited to have brilliant financial minds on our board. So we're very blessed with 3 outstanding new board members, making our board now 30 board members. Sometimes like wrangling cats, but for the most part, very exciting with these 30 board members. So that concludes my my little presentation here today. Thank you for indulging me and bringing me back on the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Okay. That concludes that portion, and we now move on to reports from the governing board. So we will start with our student trustee, Art.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this month has gone by really fast. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I know I did. So first of all, I just wanted to say that my goal for this summer was to try and meet all of the leadership in College of the Desert and get acquainted with everybody to see how the college works and how these leadership roles and the faculty basically contribute to the success of College of the Desert. And I really wanted to get to know everybody. I was also able to help set up for the retirement celebration that went on this month. I thought it was amazing. I was able to see a little bit of the video. Sadly, I wasn't able to attend because I had a class, and well, I'm a student first and a trustee second. So sadly, I wasn't able to attend. But I definitely, on behalf of the students, I'd like to thank the people that are retiring, especially the long-term staff that have been here longer than I've been born. And we thank you for the contribution you have done to the success of College of the Desert. And I'm also excited to see that there's also new staff to also contribute to that. So other than that, I was able to also hear that I will be attending a student trustee retreat on August 11th through the 13th, which I'm really excited. It's going to be in Long Beach, so that's also a plus right there, close to the beach. So I'm definitely excited. I hope to learn a lot at the retreat and hope to bring it back and to apply here at College of the Desert. And that's my report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Trustee Yan?
Thank you. This past month, I had some family business to attend to in Texas. So spending some time there, again, I noticed things were happening at a place in Austin, at the Highland Mall in Austin, Texas. The Highland Mall was the first enclosed mall built in Austin, Texas in 1971. And what's happening there is that Austin Community College is converting that mall into a campus. Seems like we're part of a trend here. The Highland Mall was built in '71. It's larger than the Palm Springs Mall. It closed in 2015, which sounds familiar. And Austin Community College is spending a pretty fair amount of money to convert it, $900 million. So it's a big project, but it's a campus for 20,000 students. It's going to be a big campus. So
Wow.
It's interesting to see this is happening in other places. I think it's definitely a trend. A week ago, CVEP distributed information that it does occasionally on educational attainment in the Valley. And I was a little upset when I saw those numbers because it didn't really give the comparison to statewide numbers. So I did that comparison myself and was even more upset. If we look at people in the Coachella Valley who have attained associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or an advanced degree in the Valley, we are still 8 percentage points behind the rest of California. And if I'm not mistaken, that has not changed in 10 years. We still have a significant educational attainment gap in the Valley, which is a detriment to bringing major employers in the Valley. Mm-hmm. And there are ways that we need to address that. And as the recent research has been telling us, students are more likely to be successful in getting their degrees if they're able to work at their degree full time. So again, this is more information that Peter can use to talk to people as to the importance of supporting the pledge program. Equally important is the Cal State system announced yesterday that it is turning back 30,000 students statewide. That there are 30,000 students statewide that are looking for slots somewhere. And I think we need to let people know that we're open. And the other item I'll save till later, so that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Let the record know Trustee Sanchez Fulton is now present. Would you like to make your report now, or would you like to wait a few minutes and we'll come back to you? Or
Oh, no, I'm here. Right?
okay, all right.
Thank you so much. I do apologize for, I just came back from the county and I just drove in. So there was a lot of traffic. So, Madam Chair, and it was a bit traffic coming back into the county. So basically, we had a busy month again here in the Coachella Valley. I gave a presentation to the LULAC of the Inland Empire on our wonderful update of our Desert Edge program. A lot of our Southern California community colleges are looking up to the College of the Desert and about our program and about our free community college. So I was able to present that to a lot of the representatives from San Bernardino Valley College and Riverside Community College at the annual LULAC Inland Empire meeting. Gave an update, also attended the Indio Rotary. A lot of people here in the Coachella Valley love our program, and we're just kind of giving people an update what we're doing on that program, and also giving an update about our bond. So just something very interesting for our fellow Rotarians, and I know many of you are. So, and I know fellow board members, some of you are fellow Rotarians. Attended the Desert Valley Building Association. The keynote speaker was our Supervisor Perez. So he gave us an update. What was interesting and fascinating about this particular update from the audience was that they asked about higher education of the Coachella Valley and the role the College of the Desert plays. So it was wonderful that we have a commitment for our current supervisor, Manuel Perez, on College of the Desert. So I just kind of enjoyed to hear that, and enjoyed that he has a commitment to our district and furthering more vocational and workforce development and creating job opportunities here in the Coachella Valley. Also attended a very, very important panel on homelessness. You know, all of you may know, I don't know if the public knows, I'm very, very key on homelessness and poverty here in the Coachella Valley. It was a wonderful update, and I would love to see this in the future, that we have a guest speaker, someone, it was Arlene Rosenthal, someone at the Well of the Desert. We had the task force of Bob Schultz from the Desert Healthcare District. They mentioned and gave us an update about poverty issues and about homelessness here in the Coachella Valley and bringing on solutions. We at the College of the Desert, I'm very proud, we all should be proud about our district's commitment to our students and to poverty, especially our signature programs of the food pantry, and having also our CalWorks. Let's not forget about our CalWorks programs and all the many of you that do so much for our students. So I've kind of mentioned that at the meeting, how College of the Desert, we have also the Board of Governors grant. And I think we need to kind of tell our community our commitment to alleviating or eliminating and our student poverty. There's a lot of issues going on that in the Coachella Valley. So it's pretty brief today, and I just want to thank you for allowing me to say thanks. That's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Stefan?
This will be a very short report. This summer, I want to thank everybody first off that's been staying in the valley. 'Cause I know it's been hot, it's been humid, it's been very different this year. I had the opportunity to represent my local union at the Representative Assembly for the National Education Association in Boston this year. And it was very enlightening, some of the issues that were presented, which I will probably bring up periodically throughout the year. But one thing occurred back there that I have a doctorate in computer technology and education. And I always consider myself to be, okay, I know technology, I deal with technology, but I'm not the top-notch person on it, even though I have that doctorate, because everything changes so quickly. If anybody's ever looked, I have one of these silly little flip phones, and you think, what in the heck, why doesn't she have a smartphone? Well, I lost this in Boston. And right before I had left for Boston, my computer at home went out. And so in Boston, I had technology withdrawal, I would say, because I could not call anybody to try to find my cell phone. I was using other people's phones. And I was first off in this total panic. And then about a week went by, and it was like, oh, it's so nice. My phone doesn't ring at 5:30 in the morning to wake me up. It doesn't ring at 9 o'clock to tell me to start getting ready for bed, 10 o'clock to go to bed, 2:30, which you guys all hear when I'm at these meetings, to tell me I can go home from work, my regular job. I didn't have the phone ringing off the hook, people wanting this, that, or the other thing. I didn't have to deal with any family. I didn't have to deal with anything. It was wonderful. I had this big vacation, but I was still trying to locate my phone. When I got home, I'm trying to get my computer set up. Well, I had to borrow people's phones again so that I could do that. Not my phone set up, but my computer set up. And I had to borrow other people's phones to try to do some of that stuff. And I'm still working on it. Well, yesterday I went to the post office, and I had been in communication with some people in Boston who were trying to locate my phone, and they had located my phone and they mailed it to me. Yay. But then I had to go down and I had to try to get it all established again. And this morning, I know that one of our vice presidents over there thought I was weird sitting in my car looking at my phone and listening to it, because all the messages had come in, and it was like, oh, there's 26 messages, my phone thing's full. Most of them were nothingness calls, but there were a few that sounded pretty important that I have to get back to. But I wanted to let you know, you can survive without your phone, but you have to have friends that have phones. You have to have friends that have computers. It was an up and down month for me, really. But in a lot of ways, it was really peaceful. And I know none of you attended the graduation at Amistad High School in June. We had one of the board members from Desert Sands told everybody to put their phones away for a week and learn to live without it, and not to read their texts, not to listen to their phones, and to enjoy life. Well, I'll tell you, I really did enjoy life without my phone, but it's like you wonder the whole time, what am I missing? What am I missing? And every time a phone went off, I'd go into this, oh, my phone's going off. So, but it was enlightening, and it was different, and I did take his advice, not willingly, and I don't think I'll ever lose my phone again. I'll have to super glue it to my hand or something stupid. But I just wanted to share that with you, so if you did try to get a hold of me in the summer, I have been unavailable because I just have had no technology. And I apologize for that, but I hope that you will all have an opportunity to rest, relax a little bit before you get back to work, and probably live without your technology at least for a day or two. Try it. It is kind of exciting. It's better if you know where your phone and your computer does work, that you can get back to it the next day without panicking. But it's interesting. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you, Fran. Vice Chair?
It was a wonderful trip. I threw tea in the Boston River, the Charles River.
Oh,
Artificial tea, but that's okay.
You're a little late, but what can you say?
Symbolic.
It's been a very warm July. I'm sure I'm the only one that noticed. For those that are interested in farming, we've had a very consistently warm summer, and crops are coming in either early or they come in over a 24-hour period and then they're past their prime. So it's very challenging. But generally farmers don't gamble at casinos because that's what they do in life. I was fortunate to attend the Palm Desert 4th of July celebration, but I took advantage of being able to attend on our own beautiful football field. I have to compliment the security staff. They were very professional. They got the crowds in and out. They were more than gracious to the College of the Desert folks that attended and came in with their passes. They were more than kind to me. They came through with water when I was about to die, so I really appreciate all that. But I'm always impressed that although I know they're trained to handle crowds, that's a larger crowd than usual, and it's not the same constituents we usually have. And they do an excellent job. So I thank our students that worked that, and I thank our professional staff that worked that. They made the 4th of July celebration very nice. Had an opportunity to meet with our new supervisor's office this month and talk about the desert, especially the East Valley, since that's really the only place that I know very much about in July. I look forward to working with that office. I've had a number of inquiries about how is our Roadrunner Ranch project coming, and I thank staff for handling that. It finally occurred to me, the inquiries. They are anxious to set up the committees, but neither of the two individuals that contacted me are the sort of people that would say, "You gonna ask me? Are you gonna ask me?" So I'm thinking that's the deal. I'm really glad that the community's that excited. So when we get to that point, we need to be sure to reach out to those individuals and see what they have to offer. But I believe they come from different backgrounds. I believe they have multiple ideas and things that they can help us with. I'd like to say happy birthday to two of our trustees. I didn't know we had 2 July babies, but obviously they do. So happy birthday, Fred. Happy birthday, almost, Bonnie.
And Mary Jane.
Mary, really? Okay, we have 3 July trustees. That's terrific. Happy birthday, Mary Jane.
That's ominous.
Yeah, that is ominous. It's really great, yes. And yes, thank you to Wendy Sanders for the coffee. And I have sampled it, and it is terrific. So be sure to say yes that we did get it, and that no, I'm sure that the president's office was tempted to drink it all themselves, but they kept from doing it. Other than that, I'm happy. I heard the rumors, so to speak, that a lot of time has been spent this summer planning for next year. And that I'm happy to hear that. I believe it'll make us have even a better year. So thank you so much for all your hard work. That's my report.
Thank you. Okay. First of all, I really want to recognize and thank my 2 colleagues, Trustee Stefan and Trustee Broughton, for hanging tough with me for 2.5 years as the 3 of us participated in an appeal hearing. I want to compliment both of you for your willingness, your stamina, and your patience. Also, I think their long-time trustee experience was very helpful to me as we went into deliberations. And of course, many thanks to President Kinnaman Julia, Michael, even you, all your work in helping to set up, and all the attorneys involved, the hard work in completing this rather lengthy process. Congratulations to the Friends of the Library for their hard work in a recent summer book sale. You know, these book sales are a lot of hard work to set up, to manage, and then to take down and store all the books. And it's all done by volunteers for the benefit of our college library. So many thanks to all those that work hard on that effort. It was a pleasure to attend the recent retirement celebration at the Pollock Theater. Many thanks to the employees that were recognized for their long time service and time at College of the Desert. Thank you so much for your service. And also, great job on the videos that were played. I'd like to compliment Dr. Neary and the accreditation group for all of your hard work in preparing for our upcoming accreditation and for the ICER, the Institutional Self-Evaluation Report. What a great report this is. You can tell a lot of work was really done on this document, so thank you so much. I also see that we have a review of our board policies coming up and getting us up to date. So it seems like you are all working so hard, and my congratulations to you for getting ready for our accreditation visit. So please don't think that your hard work has not gone unnoticed. Thank you so much. And speaking of accreditation, would like to congratulate those trustees that have completed and passed the ACC-JC Accreditation Online Basic Course. That's 4 out of 5 of the trustees that have thus far completed the course. I think the accreditation team is going to be pretty impressed when they come out here for their visit in October. And that concludes my report. President Kinnaman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just going to read a few things quickly. I have a letter that says, Dear President Kinnaman, I wanted to take a moment to thank you for allowing the Riverside County Probation Department's Youth Accountability Team to hold our 2017 Summer Youth Strength Academy at your college. Our theme this year was Career Pathways, Navigating the Workforce. Your campus was an ideal setting to expose the youth of the Coachella Valley to all the programs and benefits your college has to offer. I was very impressed with the layout of your campus as well as the warmth of all your personnel. Everyone made us feel welcome and went out of the way to make our event a great success. All of your instructors who presented at our event did an outstanding job. Their passion for learning and teaching was evident as they spoke about their courses. In fact, a couple of my staff informed me they were thinking about a second career after hearing some of the presentations. Additionally, the Pollock Theater helped enhance our graduation ceremony and provided the perfect backdrop for parents to see what activities their child engaged in for the week. Sincerely, Barbara A. Bandy, Supervising Probation Officer. In addition, from some people that participated in the code program, I've got a couple of handwritten notes here, and it said, Dear coding team, hi, it's a good day. I just wanted to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to learn new things. I've never really thought about robotics, but now I think I will consider using it in the future. I had a great time, and I would recommend the program to the other kids as well. Again, thanks for the opportunity. Sincerely, Gabby Noriega, CODE 2017. And there's a few more like that, but that I think gives you a flavor of some programs I think really make a difference in the community. For the rest of my report, I'm going to ask Dr. Neary to give us an update on our pledge program.
Could we get a copy of those letters?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kinnaman. So I'm going to give you some current numbers of what's going on with our EDGE pledge program. Session 1 has been completed, and we served nearly 200 students in Session 1 of EDGE and Pledge. Session 2 completed last Thursday with 639 students. And Session 3 has begun this week with approximately 500 students. In total, we will have ended this EDGE Pledge cohort and program with about 1,200 to 1,300 students, nearly doubling what we did last year. And considering that rather aggressive agenda and with the pledge on the table, I'd like to personally thank all the EDGE staff and faculty who all did all of the hard work behind the scenes to make it happen. And what's interesting, based on this growth, it's going to be a really nice reflection of our valley. So in the future, we will break out the numbers by demographics and the unified school districts they came from and the region of the valley they came from. And locally, I wanted to share something that the athletics department, they publish a newsletter, and they have this really nice piece about our local athletes are choosing to come and join College of the Desert, participate in our athletics program because of the Pledge program. Thank you.
Athletics department as well.
That concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you. We now move on to item number 10, which is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be considered for approval by a single vote without discussion. Any board member may request that an item be pulled from the consent agenda to be discussed and considered separately in the action agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
You do?
Second?
Okay, there is a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Only that I appreciate the presentation of the educational master plan.
I would second that too. Excellent. Any other discussion? Okay. Student trustee Delgado, your vote please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we now move on to agenda item number 11, which is the action agenda. Let's see the time here. Okay. Yeah, we can begin it.
I'll give you a break in between two, that'll be good.
We have no items that were pulled from the consent agenda. So we move on to action item B, which is board policy review. We have 20 board policies that we're going to be going through. This is the second reading. Hopefully the trustees have had an opportunity to go through all these. And so we will go ahead and start with Board Policy 101. Let's see. Sorry, let me get this organized here. College Superintendent President. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 101 as presented?
You do?
Second?
Okay, there's a motion second. Any discussion?
It'll be a very big business card.
A very big business card?
You have to have all those titles.
Oh. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote please.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we now move on to Board Policy 2010, 2010. Board membership. Do I have a motion to approve board membership? Board Policy 2010 on board membership.
So move.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on this?
Is there a detailed definition of the phrase incompatible public office?
Is there a what, trustee?
An accepted definition of the phrase incompatible public office?
We typically rely on counsel to
Determine whether an office is incompatible.
Case by case?
Yeah.
There are some pretty clear guidelines from past not our past experience, but past experience of elected officials.
Mhm.
And again, our council could give you the website that you
Okay.
can go look at.
But we have nothing committed to print or anything.
I don't believe so.
It's so
We follow the law.
situational, depending
Case by
on,
case.
yeah. It's,
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking for reference.
Our, the law is, if something is deemed as a conflict, then the elected official gives up the position they held first and retains the position that they have second. Is that not right, Mary Jane?
I think we shouldn't even cite our legal at this time. I think we should
Right.
just give it to legal counsel
Oh,
on the situation.
That's exactly, but that is what the law says.
That is what the law says.
That is what the law says.
That's the way it's written.
Is that if there is a conflict, that's what you give up. But generally, we run it through both the council of, the council of both organizations.
Okay. Just for clarification.
no, that's great. I mean, and it's similar to trustee elections, you know, one of the things, we really have to make sure that the trustee resides within the district. And so we try to make those evaluations.
I have a question. What happens if there was a board member that did not reside in the district? I just want to know.
Be disqualified.
Yes, they would.
Do we just, what would have happened? Would they just?
You know,
It's
I'm not,
hypothetical.
I'm not sure what process it is, but I think there would be a preferred quiet process versus
Okay. I've been on boards where someone moved from that district, and my experience has been after they ran it through, I can think of several different situations, they ran it through council, and then they publicly stated that on thus and such day, my address will become or has become different. And from that time, that official move time on, they were no longer serving as a board member. They returned any travel money or whatever they may have received during that time. And our council counted their vote. We went back and redid votes. Although that vote was not no action hinged on that vote, we still took all those actions back to a public meeting and ran them by again. So that's been my experience, but it's strictly that.
Any other discussion? Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. We move on to Board Policy 2360, minutes. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 2360 as presented?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
There is a motion, a second. Any discussion?
I have a quick discussion on this. It says, no trustee shall permit other use of public resources. Do we all, I just want to ask President Kinman, are we not given a lab? I just want to know, that's the public use, for us, for our minutes, et cetera.
Point of information. Are we on board policy? We're on minutes, is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
we're-
sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I just
Oh,
forget.
okay.
I was just ahead of myself.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. And is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously.
Yeah,
Moving on to Board Policy 2365, recording board meetings. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 2365 as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we are moving on to board policy 2717, personal use of public resources. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 2717 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I have a quick question, a point of information. So, no trustee shall use, permit, or others to use public resource except for which is incidental and minimal for personal purposes. I think sometimes when we are given these laptops or iPads, we need to do some printing from sometimes for us. So, how does that work here in the district? I'm still new, even though I'm still old, but still new.
I would say that
You know.
I don't believe that would be applicable here. If you called Julia and said that you would like to have your grandmother's birthday party in the Craven Center, based on your role as a trustee, that might be an example. You know, but for the work that you're doing
Yeah.
as a trustee, it would not be applicable.
Okay, so any printing sources when you're giving a talk somewhere and you need some, we'd call up Julie. Okay, just wanted to know about that. Thank you.
So-
If it's board approved.
Actually, now I'm confused.
For your district.
I think that,
It's your own district.
I think we need to be clear
Yeah.
about what sort of things we can do. I can't print my personal business things on
Correct.
the printers at College of the Desert.
Correct.
I feel that if my printer at home were broken and I needed to print out the minutes because my eyes didn't read well on the screen, I wouldn't feel bad about saying, could I please have a hard copy? I'm not sure about presentation somewhere. I think there should be some kind of reasonable thing, but I'm not sure about, usually we ask for some sort of resource that's already available.
And I would concur with presentations. Typically, the board can rely on staff to go and give presentations, or if the board has a presentation that we have shown, and the board is in agreement with that information, then that's public information at that point. But that would be the distinction I would make as well.
Let me be a little more specific. Spanish translation sometimes, a constituent calls me of a parent in Spanish. There's going to be certain circumstances when we as elected officials are bound to the people who elect us, period. And
Yeah, I would say at that point, since we can't even talk to a parent because of
a student.
because of regulations.
Right.
So what I would do in that situation is defer the student, depending on what the issue is, defer them back to the college so that they can handle it. And then we'd find somebody that is bilingual
Okay.
to assist them.
Thank you.
My problem is when we need something done, I'd feel uncomfortable calling Zarel and saying, Zarel, I need a copy of that really good PowerPoint that you presented, okay? But I don't feel uncomfortable asking the president's office. And then it goes down and picks up, but it saves Zarel's administrative help from having to print 20 copies of this really good PowerPoint that I thought we needed for the Roadrunner Ranch project. Instead, it gets done. Zarel and Pamela bring it to the meeting, and Annabelle helps us pass it out. Okay, That way, we're not asking staff to do something that's inappropriate. And that's where I think we have to be really careful.
Any other discussion? Julie, I do have one minor change there. The word trustee should be capitalized.
It wasn't in the other, is it? Interesting.
No further discussion. Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is carried unanimously. We move on to Board Policy 2720, Communications Among Board Members. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 2720 as presented?
So move.
Second? I second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this motion passes unanimously. Okay. We now move on to Board Policy 2740, Board Education. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 2740 as presented?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to add during this policy that also provided online, because we're in the age of technology. I say attend, study, but I think also we should concur, because sometimes there's costs on online board education, so we should include that somehow.
Other activities.
Other activities, maybe other online, we always must, I've just
No,
noticed in all
doesn't
the,
need to state
some-
that.
it would be good to state that, since it's a policy. Or social.
Do you think other activities covers that? Or Carlos, did you have a comment? No? No.
Just getting ready.
Okay.
Scare me like that. Any comment, President Kim? No?
I'm trying to figure out how I would write that.
How, we'll think about it, but just, I think it would be, other activities, that's pretty much a general, we could, is that fine with everyone? I'm just bringing.
That counts for future things as well, I think.
Right.
You know,
No, but
because online
other-
is what we have now, but online we didn't have 10 years ago.
Right.
And
And
so
that's why
by
I'm
having
adding, that's
other
why
act-
I'm adding that, and I
But
think.
by
we can
having
get-
other activities that included online in the future, and it'll include other things, because technology will continue to progress.
Right, but
We might be
we have to
stifling-
state that, and in other boards that I belong to, we have to,
No,
I'm
you
just
don't. Other
stating,
act-
I'm
other
just
includes everything.
recommending, it's not a big deal.
Madam Chair, I move the question. I move the question.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Sounds like there's no further discussion. Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this motion carried unanimously. And again, the capitalizing of trustee. Okay. Moving on to Board Policy 3200, accreditation. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 3200 as presented?
You do.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Nope, you're doing a good job.
Sure are. Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this motion passes unanimously. We move on to Board Policy 3250, institutional planning. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 3250 as presented?
You do.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Any discussion? Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. We're moving pretty good here. Okay, move on to Board Policy 5010, admission and concurrent enrollment. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 5010 as presented?
So move.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
I'm very proud of this. I want to really thank Zarel. I remember when we first started this whole admissions of concurrent enrollment and all this, President Kinman and the staff. I think it's a wonderful program here. This is really wonderful for this. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, I do think I think this is one of those future things. It's an old idea that's new again.
Mhm.
And it's an opportunity for us to reach out to students that have huge challenges to physically get to the school, or their challenges are within their own home or within their own life. But if we can offer a dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment, it sometimes makes, well, it always makes the difference.
Madam Chair,
yes.
just a question from folks that deal with this. Have there been any issues with homeschooling as relates to this?
Dr. Neary?
So actually, one of our fastest growing populations is actually a homeschooling population.
That's why, yeah.
But what we have found is there is a administration office within a unified school district, and we use that as the location for the homeschooler. And then I'd just like to add, I want to commend the Instructional Side Enrollment Management Committee and the progress of this policy by changing the registration dates so that most of our high school students can concurrently enroll with us during summer school. We went from last year having only 2 concurrently enrolled high school students to over 100.
It's wonderful.
Do you think any of the language needs to be changed or enhanced for the homeschool population?
So these are the changes recommended by CCLC, but again, homeschooling students are identified with the unified school district, so this policy with the CCLC.
As is?
As is.
Okay. I just want to be sure that they have access.
Right.
Certainly.
I think we need to remember, and I'm saying this from personal experience, that there's homeschooling as we think of it, and there are various homeschooling hybrids. The school that Carly graduated from was accredited. They created the curriculum. So it was homeschool, but not so much. Okay? I only had to be the grown-up in the room. I think we don't have the connections yet to truly reach out to those students. There in the school, and this is just one of the many schools that Carly went to, is based out of San Diego. Carly graduated from a San Diego school district. But there are a number of students in this valley that went to that school. We just didn't see each other because we were online. But I discovered it because the little chat time before the teacher came on Blackboard and gave her his presentation that day, these particular students were talking about the animal they were showing at the Riverside County Fair. And so Carly typed in, well, where do you live? And they were, we're 4-H. And so, of course, it was, are you a desert sandblaster? So we knew these people. But because of privacy issues, students never share their full name. But, of course, we knew those people. So I think we don't have that communication yet. And although the privacy issues are extremely important, they also kind of block us from that. So if we can figure how to work that, there are more students physically in our district that have simply chosen to bail out of our local school districts for whatever their reasons are.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a challenge, is what I'm saying. I think we cover it here. It's our own, it's obstacles we simply haven't learned. And it's not we, College of the Desert, it's we, community colleges, have not figured out how to surmount. But we need to keep an open mind to them. Those students are already self-starters. They've already figured out how to schedule their day. They can budget time better than students that, like I was. You just showed up for class because it was there and then you went to the next one.
Any other discussion? Okay, student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries unanimously. We have reached the lunch hour, and we have completed half of the board policies. We could continue and finish these, or we could go ahead and recess for lunch. What is the pleasure of the board? Okay, I heard a resounding recess for lunch. All right, so with that, we will go ahead and recess for lunch, and we will reconvene at approximately 1:30. Thank you. Okay. Our apologies, my apologies for the delay in the starting of this meeting. We ask that you do please turn your cell phones off or down to silent. We do have action to report out from the closed session meeting. In closed session, a motion was made by Trustee Sanchez Fulton, seconded by Trustee Stefan, to authorize President Kinnaman to extend an offer of employment for an interim executive administrative assistant to the President, Superintendent, and Board of Trustees to Sai Vang, effective July 10th, 2017 through July 10th, 2018. The motion carried with 5 members voting in favor and 0 members voting no. The motion carried unanimously. And Julia's dancing on the table. Thank you. We now resume the review of board policies. This is action agenda item B, and we left off with the start of board policy 5021, which is health insurance for international students in F1 visa status. Boy, that's a mouthful. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 5021 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and a second. Any discussion? Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carried unanimously. We move on to board policy 5050, which is Student Success and Support Program. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 5050 as presented?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second.
Second.
Oh, there's a second. Okay. Is there any discussion? Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This carries unanimously. Okay, we move on to board policy 5110, counseling. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 5110 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion second. Any discussion? Student trustee Delgado?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This motion carries unanimously. Okay. Moving on to board policy 5200, student health services. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 5200 as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, there's a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
I think the well-being of our students and health, especially in the areas of mental health, suicide, or any bullying, is a priority for the college and the district. I think this is one of our great policies that we're doing at the Desert Community College, and looking out for partnerships. Here in the Coachella Valley, we have a lot of nonprofits and community-based organizations that we welcome and open to. I think this is very critical here in the Coachella Valley. Thank you so much.
Any other discussion? Student trustee Delgado?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is carried unanimously. we move on to, let's see, which one am I on now? 5205? Okay. Student accident insurance. Do I have a motion to approve board policy 5205 as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second. Any discussion?
Once again, I have to mention this because it reminds me when I was in school, if something happened to me, we have the student accident insurance or some type of insurance are always great while all of us went through school. So something else that I think it's phenomenal that our district does. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We now move to 52, Board Policy 5210, Communicable Disease. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 5210 as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. We move on to Board Policy 5300, Student Equity. Thank you, Vice Chair. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 5300 as presented?
So proudly move.
Okay.
Second.
Second, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
Absolutely. Title V and student equity, President Kinnaman, can we hear something from the expert on this? Thank you.
Dr. Neary, I'm going to assume you're the expert on this.
Thank you. So historically, student equity came about, and I believe it's 1996 as an unfunded mandate, but an important one. And what happened with the Student Success Act of 2012 was a demand to hold community colleges accountable to any disparity the new legislation might have caused, meaning that because we made certain things mandatory within certain timeframes, would it have a disproportionate impact on certain groups? And there's required groups, which include race and ethnicity, socioeconomic status, a disabled student, veteran students, and our foster youth. So annually we do a very prescriptive data analysis on it's one of the first times the state actually designed the study with specific accountability measures. And if we see that there's a gap between students of 20%, 10%, we are obligated as a college to create initiatives to fund activities to ensure that that gap closes. So for example, we have demonstrated a closing of the gap for our Latino students and our students with lower socioeconomic status through the EDGE program, which is why when the EDGE program became institutionalized out of the Title V funds, it was a perfect equity initiative, and which is why student equity funds could fund it. So, but it's now a funded mandate. It's supposed to be ongoing funding from this point on. But if I took a VP Howell's take, money always goes away and comes back. So at this point, it's ongoing funding.
Thank you, Dr. for that.
Is there any other discussion? Student trustee Delgado, your vote, please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion carries unanimously. We now move to Board Policy 5410, Associated Students Elections. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 5410 as presented, Student Trustee Delgado?
So moved. So proudly moved.
There you go.
And second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and second on the floor. Any discussion?
Well, I just had one question. So, why exactly was there 5 before changing it to 6?
I might have to defer to Dean Maldonado, but I think it was an error. I always thought it was 6 units or more, but I'll defer to Dean Maldonado.
So 5 is the standard issued by a legal opinion from the Chancellor's office, and 6 is in line with the documents that ASCOT has approved. So this adjustment will bring them in line. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, seeing none, student trustee, your vote please.
Aye.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. Okay. We now move on to Board Policy 5420, Associated Students Finance. Do I have a motion to approve Board Policy 5420 as presented?
You do?
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, there is a motion and second. Any discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none, student trustee Delgado, your vote please.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. Okay. We now move on to Board Policy 5570, Student Credit Card Solicitations. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
You do?
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
One question.
Mhm.
Vice President Murray, what is the current law and policy on branded credit cards issued to alumni? Because it does generate income for alumni.
Did you say branded?
Yes.
Branded.
I had a University of West Florida credit card.
And are you speaking specifically for students or
Alumni.
alumni?
Alumni.
Actually, I'm not aware of any discussions around that since I've been here, but that's interesting. As we're looking at our advancement model and some other types of things, that may be an interesting area for us to pursue.
It does generate some income for the Alumni Association, but at one time, some universities put a moratorium on it until some relationships were clarified, so we're not doing it, though. Correct?
We're not, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Okay. And I don't know, as you can speak, many people are kind of proud to carry
That's correct.
a credit card branded with their college on it.
Madam Chair, are we out of order since we're still in regards to this particular vote?
I'm sorry?
It's actually kind of
Student
related.
credit solicitation, are we still on this
We're on
particular?
discussion.
Yeah.
He's
It is
discussing.
related because those are marketed to students as well.
Any other comments?
So passing it on to you for,
So we can do some research. That one stumped me.
okay.
Okay, any other discussion?
So this will, so actually it says credit card solicitation shall not be premises. So is that,
That'll be our current
Yeah.
policy.
okay,
On the premises. It
Okay.
means that they won't be allowed on campus.
okay.
They could be allowed through mail.
And what were you talking about, trustee John? Because I thought we were on this.
We are on this.
Okay, thank you.
Student trustee Delgado, your vote please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? This motion carried unanimously. I did it.
Yes, you did. You survived it, you didn't get lost a single time. Congratulations.
We now move on to the next item. We have some board member travel coming up. Do I have a motion to approve the board member travel as presented?
You do.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? If not, student trustee Delgado, your vote please.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This motion is carried unanimously. Okey dokey. We now move on to item C, which is administrative services. Item number 1, resolution number 072017-1, budget revisions, adjustments, and transfers. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 072017-1?
So move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This is just our typical July resolution that allows us to allocate prior to, and we bring at every month board meeting, the adjustments and transfers. So this is just a precursor that allows us to conduct a business in a timely manner and efficiently.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there any other further discussion? Okay, student trustee, your vote, please. Oh, I'm sorry. This is, oh, doggone it, you didn't ding me. Okay. Okay. This is a resolution.
Student trustee Delgado,
Aye.
trustee Sanchez Fulton,
Aye.
trustee Yant,
Aye.
trustee Stefan,
Aye.
trustee Broughton,
Aye.
trustee Wilson.
Aye.
But the motion carried unanimously.
Okay. Next item is a notice of intent to award contracts for the adjunct faculty renovation project and Prop 39 Year 4 project. Do I have a motion to approve the notice of intent?
So move.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, Lisa?
A quick update. We are very pleased about this bid as we rejected bids the first time around. They missed the mark tremendously. I think our initial estimate for the project was approximately $550,000. And our first round of bids came in, the least expensive was over $900. So we rejected bids, we didn't change, we didn't do any value engineering, which is always nice to know. And we went out to the market again and actually did a better job of marketing. And we are pleased to have 3 bids much lower than the initial bids that came in, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder of Hamill Construction at the amount of $628,008.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, Chairman Wilson. Hamill, where are they from? Is this a local Coachella Valley construction? I just kind of want to make sure, I'm helping business owners and I advocate for local bids.
That I do not know. I apologize, but I will get you that information. We do always try, as you know, to solicit our local firms to make sure that they have every opportunity.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Student trustee Estrada, your vote, please.
Delgado.
Delgado. Why do I have that down there? Okay. Your vote, please.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We now move on to the information portion of the agenda, item 12. President Kinnaman, you have a very important document to
Yes,
present to us.
yes. We had a presentation, I believe, at our last meeting where we shared a draft of this document. And as you can see, we've got our finalized self-study that will be submitted to the commission and the team prior to their visit. I can't stress the amount of time individuals and subcommittees spent working on this. It, I believe, represents the institution well and will facilitate a very good site visit whenever the team arrives. And then I'm going to defer to Dr. Neary and Dr. Ralston on anything else related to the Ed Master Plan that they feel that.
So the work behind the scenes is absolutely incredible and daunting. And even though the draft was done, right after the draft is done is when I call the real grinding work begins. So I want to do some personal thank yous to Pam Hunter and her office, who was working 7 days a week around the clock and even through her vacation to ensure that we had a beautiful branded copy that reflected the college. And then I'm sure their eyes are tired, so I'd like to thank Mary Lou Marujo, Cy Bang, and Jeff Larson, who spent days and hours looking for editing marks along with Ronsley. And now they're on to the collecting and cleaning up all evidence. So I just really want to thank you. And thank you, Pam. The document is gorgeous. And she worked through her vacation 7 days a week. So thank you so much. And accreditation work team, they're going to be excited to see this at their upcoming meeting.
Dr. Ralston, do you have any comments?
As far as accreditation goes, I'd like to first do a huge head nod to how fabulous this document is and how excited we really are that we can do this best. So we'll also be talking about training and getting ready and ensuring because we're comfortable.
And you will be getting homework.
We'll be
Yes.
getting what?
Homework.
Oh.
Assignments are going out next week.
More homework? Sounds good.
We want to be so prepared when this team hits the ground that they'll be able to do their job in one day instead of 3.
One of the nice things of having a superintendent who served recently is having a good, clear sense of what makes a visit go well. And so Mr. Kinnaman's been really helpful in guiding some of what's going to make that really possible. As far as the educational master plan is going forward, and so I was just having a conversation during our break with Pam Hunter about what the educational master plan will look like when it becomes its formal printed document, and we're hoping for a copy for you. Sometimes I'm too loud for the mic, so, in August, you'll be seeing the printed copy. At the same time, we'll be sharing it with staff and faculty across the institution. 2 months ago, you helped approve an addendum on a contract for working with the Collaborative Brain Trust, the group who helped us bring the plan into being. They're going to come back and help us do the implementation pieces. So that's the really exciting part where program faculty and chairs and deans get together across student services and student learning to figure out how do we actually make these goals happen. And so that work will happen through the fall, and it'll continue during the life of the plan. So we'll just keep working forward on how to actually bring these pieces into being. So that is all forward coming.
Great. And as I understand, this goes to the accreditation team that is coming out for the visit in October, early October. So they'll have this document. I tell you, this is an incredible document. It really shows the hundreds and hundreds of hours that were put into preparing this document. Well done, Pam. And well done, Dr. Neary, to you and the accreditation group. What an amazing, amazing job. If anybody wants to know what College of the Desert is all about, read this document. It really sends a very strong message. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is, I'm lost.
Next item is 2015-16 Auxiliary
There
Services
we go.
Audit Report.
Yes. Vice President Howe.
And although the item does say that Vavernick Trine and Company will be here to present it, I gave them the day off. This is just an informational item, and I didn't feel it warranted the cost to drive all the way out here and present to you what is a very clean and well-done audit. The good thing to know is that there are no material findings. There were a few recommendations for the way we treat things as we move forward with the auxiliary. If you would turn to the back of the document, and I'm looking at the page 4, and it is a statement of activities for the year ended June 30th. I can tell you that our auxiliary is $1.6 million strong. So that is a good, solid number. We had an improvement in asset or class position, net asset position of 105,000. That is in line with what occurred last year, but much better than what occurred in 2014. As you know, we've been doing significant work to clean up operations. We have 2 revenue agreements and 1 enterprise in this fund. And in 2014, the net position, we lost $226,000. So we had a reduction of fund balance. So this is a big improvement. Last year, we had an improvement of $112,000. This year was $105,000. So that money going in continues to build, and those auxiliary operations go to fund student programs scholarships. As you know, we've dedicated money towards the pledge. So it's very important that this be a fund that increases so that we have opportunities to allocate the money to improve our students. And with that, I don't have any other comments on the audit other than we continue to look for opportunities to increase this fund balance.
Any other comments, Dr. Kinnaman? Okay. We now move on to agenda item 13, future agenda items, and we'll start with our student trustee Delgado.
No.
No future agenda items? Trustee Sanchez Fulton?
Yes, as always. I just want to get a little more update. I want to see the different athletics. You know, I'm always going to go back, just like our former trustee, John Marmon, on our athletics program. Just would love to see our different athletic team come by to our board and see what they're up to. And, you know, I think it'd be great. And secondly, another update of our fabulous summer program, our COD robotics camp learning, e-coding. I just want to get an update. I think it would be lovely to get that. I've been hearing a lot, I've been getting emails a lot about our Westfield participation during the camp for our middle school students. I've been hearing a lot out in the community, so it would be wonderful to get that, an update on that. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Yan?
On Monday, evidently Chancellor Oakley presented a proposal, or his proposal for community college success, which has a lot of proposals in it that some are controversial, I think. So I think it would be appropriate if we all had the opportunity to review his proposals. Is it distributable?
It is, and I think that there are others that I work with that would like to
see it as well.
Provide that to you.
Good.
So.
Some of it seems controversial, I think.
I think at the upcoming ACT conference, there'll be an opportunity to discuss those proposals.
Yes,
that's true. Yeah, that's a
so
good point.
I think we need to read them.
Okay. Is that all, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Stefan?
None at this time.
Okay. Vice Chair?
I'm looking forward to the report about EDGE and Pledge and where those students came from, as you were speaking about earlier. I'm happy that you're looking at both their zip code and the high school that they went to, because it'll be interesting to see which high schools do a good job and which high schools need more encouragement. Also, we have to remember that some districts are perhaps not as strong as other districts, and parents have been known to move their high schoolers out of one district into another. Shadow Hills is the high school that comes to mind. I believe you'll find many of those high school graduates actually maybe previously lived in, I'm sure they wouldn't have ever lied to the school districts, but they previously lived in the Coachella Valley Unified area. So maybe that'll help us know what East Valley classes, and I'm sure there's equivalent things that happen in the West Valley. So I think it'll help us know. It'll also help us know about the funding and the necessary funding for another year of Pledge and for year 2 of Pledge, if those turn out to be possible at all. With different students from different socioeconomic groups are going to need different sorts of help. Other thing I'd like to hear about is our child care center, because our child care center is one of our hidden jewels. And I think we should blow our horn a little bit about that. So we as trustees need to know more. We need to know more about who can bring their children, what the costs are, how we help our students that are parents with their, oh yeah, I like the little kids to come too, but that may have its own set of challenges. But so that would be, yes, that's always the fun part. So those are the two items I'd like to hear about. I don't have a specific time. Opportunities will present themselves as is appropriate. But those are things I think as trustees, as time goes on, we're going to need more information about our workforce center.
Oh, yes.
Because not that you don't interface with the community, but you know more to tell them. We as trustees need to be trained as to what opportunities are and how we can help connect opportunities to the college so the college can connect students to the opportunities. Excellent. And again, there's not a timeline on that. It's just when it works, when it's appropriate.
Is that it? That's it. Okay. I would also agree on the Job Hub Center, Workforce Center, if we could get an update on how that is going. And also construction update for this campus. We have a library that still needs to, and board chambers that need to be. So, and I know it's been a while now, so if we could get a local construction update here. Okay. And let's see, is that it? Okay, there's no need to go into closed session, so there being no further business, thank you all for your patience. We stand adjourned at 2:15. Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.